midnight tokers, afternoon inhalers, and AM hookah smokers. This is the AM Hookah Podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We have a absolutely packed show today. I mean, I can't even describe the kind of stuff that we're going to be doing today, besides the fact that it's going to be all about bowls. But we have the inventor, the creator, the thrower, if you will, of an actual bowl in our presence. First, let me introduce my wonderful co-host, Adrian Hunter. How are you doing, Adrian?
I am Adrian Hunter, and I am doing.
He is doing. And then we're joined this week by our very, very special guest, the actual creator of the, now tell me if I'm pronouncing this right. In my head, it always sounds correct, but I could be wrong. But the Relix, the Relix
That's right.
Bowl? Okay, awesome. We have the creator of the Relix Bowl, Kyle Smith. How are you doing, man? Of course,
Doing great, man. Happy to be with you. Sorry.
You're fine.
I'm cutting this off right now. I just want to say this. I haven't started smoking because I wanted to show off the bowl we're giving away really quick. It's packed, though, and I want to smoke it. So I'm going to show this to people, and now I'm going to foil it and smoke it because I want to smoke.
I am so damn jealous of seeing the
Oh, you should be. It's disgustingly good. I fucking love this thing.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so Kyle Smith, let's talk a little bit about what's going on. We'll get into the show proper in just a minute. We already have 10 viewers, guys. Oh my God, this is the quickest we've ever hit our peak. I'm sorry, I sound way too excited because I'm supposed to be professional about this. But wait, I don't even have my chat up. Oh shit, people are literally probably talking right now and I have no idea what they're saying. I apologize so much. Let me pull the chat up. Adrian, if you could talk just for a minute.
Yeah, while you're fumbling, I just wanted to say, Kyle, great job on the bowl. I love this thing. I think I figured out how to foil it. And I apologize for mispronouncing the name of your bowls on my promotional video because that was pretty stupid. When you said Relix, I'm like, that makes so much more sense than what I said.
No worries, man. I've got a few friends who aren't really hookah aficionados, and they saw my email address, and they're like, what the hell is Relix?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a sweet name, but Relix is even better.
All right, so I have the chat up now. Let me go ahead and say hello to a couple people, including one new person that's going to be joining us. Looks like a couple of new people, actually. This is so exciting. You guys have no idea how happy this makes me, and I'm sure Adrian as well. And Kyle, thank you so much for being a part of what we're going to be doing on the show today. And I know that you're a part of this, Kyle. This is you bringing all this. Oh, hold on. Tap your microphone, Adrian.
Oh, it's me.
Let us see that bowl of yours all packed up.
Oh, yeah. Here you go. I put holes in it. That's what a bowl with holes looks like.
Nice. Hey.
So
I like holes.
Welcome to the show, Captain Wetbeard. Thank you so much for joining us. Sid, thank you so much for joining. Tristan, what is up? Pipe Dream. Akeem, as always, the super fan. Thank you so much for joining us. Brad as well. I saw your video, Brad, about the five-star mystery box that you signed up for. It looks pretty awesome. J-Rock,
hey,
thank you for joining. As always, Zach as well. Zach Ries, R-I-E-S. Who are you, Zach? I feel like I've heard your name before. Am I wrong in that, Adrian? Is that somebody that we know?
I know the name. However, right now I'm really focusing on not burning myself. Give me a second.
It looks so dangerous.
It
would make a great podcast if you did burn yourself. No
Can
offense.
You guys see the stem I'm using at all?
Yes, we can actually. Is that the Kingdom stem from Zomo?
You are correct. I just got this from Hookah Chef Dan Partridge for the traveling hookah review.
Okay.
It's going to Sally from the Shisha Savage after me.
Awesome. Okay, so we got to say hello to a couple more people. So sorry to cut everybody off, but I want to make sure that we stay interactive with the chat because we appreciate you guys so much for joining us and being part of the show as always. So Jessica, thank you so much for joining us. The good guy is here. I'd rather you be the bad guy, like Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. Hey, yo, the bad guy. Any wrestling fans in the house? Anybody at all? Am I just that nerdy?
A heel, if you will.
What?
A heel, if you will.
A heel, exactly. You need to get out of the babyface persona, the good guy, and you need to go and heal it up. I guarantee you will be so over, at least in certain parts of the South. I don't know where, but somewhere. Zach is from the Hookah Enthusiast admin. Okay, I knew I recognized your name. I definitely did. Yeah, can we get a hell yeah for Kyle Smith being here today? Give me a hell yeah. Everyone in the audience is saying hell yeah, I promise. I know they are. They all got the reference. Okay. So Kyle Smith is obviously joining us right now. He's from Relix Hookah Bowls. I don't even know. Do you have like a full company name that we should be saying?
No, just Relix. That's it, and it's not even a company, man. I just make them in the free time.
Well, I think of you as being the most professional, one of the most professional people that we've had on. So I have to try to do that as I can. Okay, so a little bit of background. So Kyle, I noticed one day you shared the podcast on one of the hookah groups, and you said that, hey guys, I found this really cool podcast. It's a lot of fun to listen to. You guys should all go and check it out. And I instantly messaged Adrian. And I said, hey, Adrian, people are talking about us, and it's not us doing the talking. I was so excited about that. And then you hit me up, or I hit you up later on that evening or day or something like that. And we started talking back and forth for a little bit. And then out of nowhere, you're like, yeah, I do the Relix bowls. And I instantly fanboyed out. I was like, oh, my gosh, I think the bowls are so sexy. And we talked more and more. And I was like, we have to have you on the show as soon as possible. And you had a great idea, so let me go ahead and give you a little bit of the floor and tell you and have you say what it is you want.
You cut out there at the end, but I think I know where you were going. Yeah, I love the show, first off, and I thought it was hilarious that we got to talking for 20, 30 minutes before I was like, oh yeah, I do Relix. But yeah, I love the show, and I wanted to team up with you, so I had a spare bowl that I just pulled out of the kiln and wanted to do a giveaway. So I think you've got kind of the details on how to be eligible for that.
I do. So we are going to be giving away the beautiful Relix bowl that you may have missed at the very beginning of the show. Adrian was showing it off. It is a beautiful funnel bowl, handmade and with love, sweat, and passion, with Kyle throwing it on the wheel. Oh, yeah, there we go. So go ahead and bump your mic so we get you on the main.
Yeah, I don't need to bump it. I can just talk. So it's foiled. You can't see it too well. I promise it's pretty. I'll post pictures later.
Yes, very, very pretty. Also, make sure you go and check out the awesome you did a video that you're going to take down after probably today, I would imagine, but you actually showed the bowl off a little bit more in detail and stuff. So check out the pipe. I can't think of the word of it. Sorry, the pipeline. Yeah, the pipeline where you showed off, and then also your little giveaway announcement as well. So go and check those two things out to see the bowl a little bit more clear, because everybody that's in the chat right now, I see everybody's name right here. You are all entered to win this bowl, except for possibly Sid. I'm so sorry, Sid, but I don't think we can ship internationally yet. I most apologies, but one of these days we will definitely do something like that, because we'll have to, I think. But
the second we can ship internationally, we just send Sid something. It's not even a giveaway. We just
our first international listener automatically gets a gift.
Yeah, automatically.
I like that idea.
I shouldn't have said that.
Sorry?
If I could interject, I'd be happy to chip in for shipping if you want to do international.
All right. Never mind. No, we're not mean, Sid. Not at all. It turns out Kyle is the most over guy in the room, because he says he will chip in for shipping. If he chips in, I will chip in, which means Adrian has to chip in, because
that's how that works.
One person. And we will send you the bowl if you win, Sid. We will absolutely do that, so no problem at all. So there's also a second way to be entered into the giveaway. After the show goes live, anybody that's not in the chat room right now, and you leave a comment. So anybody that is not you guys, anybody new that just tunes in and stuff, and you just leave a comment of any kind, just, hey guys, thank you so much for I love watching the show, I want to win this bowl, blah blah blah. Make a comment and you can enter into the giveaway as well. So there's two different ways to enter. All you guys are instantly entered into the giveaway, obviously, and then anybody that wants to enter after the fact and watches the show live or after the show's been posted will also be entered as well. Geez, that was too much of a mouthful. It should not have been that complicated. I apologize. Let me go and check in on the chat for just a second, because we are getting more explosive information in the chat right now than we've ever had before. We got people talking about what they're smoking. We have people talking about, hey, how's it going and stuff like that. So, hey, we got a new person, George or Jorge. I don't know which one. You tell me which you prefer. He says, watching. I'm glad you're watching. I hope you're also listening. Make your choice on what you want to do. It's all up to you. Let's go ahead and get into some pieces of the show. Obviously, if you're in the comments, let us know what you guys are smoking. But as of right now, let's go into what we are actually smoking. So I'm going to go ahead and start this off just because I'm already talking. I'm using my Carbon 1 hookah with my Mia Bob Barker style hose. I'm using the Bambino bowl with the apple on top. And then I'm actually smoking Lavu Viceroy Chai. And I'm absolutely loving the creamy flavor of it right now. Adrian, what are you smoking, my man?
Okay. This setup's pretty interesting, actually. This is going to be the Kingdom hookah. This was just sent to me by Hookah Chef Dan Partridge. If you don't know him, go check out his channel. It's exactly what I just said. It's just the stem, so I've got the initiate base and the tray out there. I've got the sweet Relix bowl on top that we're giving away. 3 charcoal flare quarter circles, and that's because I don't have as much coal as I'd like right now, so I'm using quarter circles. Thunder Dark version 2. Oh, and it's Honey Doomy by Starbuzz Vintage in the bowl.
Ooh, some honeydew. Always a good flavor to smoke. And Kyle, what about you, my man? What are you smoking? Tell us about all the custom stuff you're using as well.
You guys are smoking 2 of my favorite flavors. Well, starting from top to bottom, I've got the Brass Razor with 2 of the Cocoa Earth cubes in there. One of my earlier Relix bowls when I used the dark clay. And then I got my Regal stem, which I did some engraving work on, and got that on top of a boho base with a custom hose for a friend.
Yeah, I was going to ask about your Regal because I thought it was a Regal, but when I saw the look of it, I thought maybe it wasn't a Regal. So you did some custom work on the actual pipe itself. You did the engraving yourself then?
Yeah, that was back before I started the bowls. I knew I wanted to do something with my hands, and I wanted it to be hookah related. So I took a stab at woodworking, I guess you could say, first, and really enjoyed it. But Jesus Christ, it takes forever.
Well, it looks very, very cool here on camera for sure. So we do have some people in the chat that are smoking as well. Brad says that he's smoking an unglazed stone right now with cane mint, dirty mint, and alpha comma lemon mint. So he has a lemony mint bowl right now going.
Shit.
We also have Colton, who's new to the show right now. Welcome, Colton. Thank you so much for joining us. He's actually rolling the cantaloupe from Tangier. So we got a bunch of melons going on as well. We got you smoking melon. We got Colton smoking melon. Anybody else who is all smoking? And Kyle, what kind of handle is that for your hose? Yes, you got to go in more detail for your hose.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I meant to say I'm smoking melon too. Babylon, Secrets of Babylon, amazing flavor. This is a buddy of mine who lives in Durham, North Carolina, right down the road from me. Cool guy. His name's Lum. He's a mortician by day and a woodworker by night, and he custom lathed this hose for me, this hose handle. And I just stuck it on a D-hose silicone tube, and my wife was sweet enough to crochet this cover for me for Christmas.
All custom stuff in your life, from hookah to bowl to hose, everything. You got some homemade tobacco in there too? Is that what you're? No. No. Very, very awesome. We also have, we had somebody say something that Sid is smoking AF mango, mint, lemon, blueberry, and trifecta Persian melon. So yes, lots of melons going on today. My old school favorite melon was Knockless sweet melon. I swear it tasted exactly like a cantaloupe. I used to love that flavor so much.
Melon Monday, man.
Melon Monday. There you go. Hey, I think I was about to say the timber hose has nothing on what you are using right now. By the way, I think that's a pretty bomb setup you have going on.
I would kill for a timber hose still, but thank you.
So we are going to go ahead and get into the interview a little bit. Christian, who's also new to the show right now. Thank you so much for joining us, Christian, as well. He is smoking some Alfacher Frost Mint. Ooh, that sounds good. I want to try that frosty mint. I've seen the packaging, and the packaging alone has my mouth watering. So I'm excited to know everything that is. So
is that special edition, or is that from the regular line?
Please let us know, Jorge. I still don't know. Is your name Jorge or George? Please put an F or a J, however you want me to refer to you. Captain Wetbeard, thank you so much for. I love your name, by the way. You instantly made my day when I saw that you subbed to the channel, and I just saw your name, and I was like, that's a cool guy. That's a cool guy right there, I think. He is smoking a mix of Trifecta P3. Love the P3. He's smoking also Enigma Dark out of a A.M Hookah. Trifecta and P3 and Enigma sounds like an interesting mix. Now, I know Adrian has not tried the Enigma. Have you tried Enigma, Kyle?
Oh, absolutely, man. That and K Peach probably occupy my top 2 flavors most of the time.
K Peach. Yeah, dude. I discovered K Peach not too long ago. I just want to say this real quick. J-Rock's smoking out of his flying saucer, man.
I know.
Yes.
I want that boy. Hey, can you make me a custom flying saucer? Maybe that'd be something.
Is that copyright infringement? I don't know.
We'll call it just or something. Okay, so George is fine, is what he says. Awesome. So I'm going to refer to you as George then. Maybe I'll go George. I don't know. So moving on, we are going to do an interview with Kyle for a little while before we go into our main topic. Our main topic is going to be covering bowls. But if you guys have any questions that you would like to shout out in the chat, start your question with a question mark so that it stands out a little bit, and I know that you're wanting to have a question answered. and then I will say what your question is, and we will shoot that next. But let's go ahead and get into the interview a little bit. Kyle, how long have you been smoking for?
Ooh, it's coming up on about 15 years. Started in high school, and I'm 30 right now. So, yeah.
Awesome. I love when we get old school smokers. I know J-Rock probably appreciates it too, and some of the other old school smokers as well, because we remember. And I'm not saying any diss towards you, Adrian, you youngin. But it is cool when we can go back and you smiling like, what an asshole. We can appreciate some of the things that have come along, not necessarily differently, but I like to consider myself an old man. I'm 29. I'll be turning 30 later this year, actually. And I've been smoking for about 10 years. So we've seen the dark ages where there was nothing exciting or cool coming out. And nowadays, I think you would agree, Kyle, like there's nothing but exciting things happening in the hookah industry at all times.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, I've got the same backstory as I'm sure you do and everyone else. When I started, it was Starbuzz and Alpaca, and throw it in an Eggy Bowl or a Tangier's funnel if you're lucky enough to find one.
If you're lucky enough, exactly. Okay, what made you? So we're gonna keep moving on. If you guys got questions, just let me know in the chat. Obviously, what made you want to start making bowls?
Jeez. I don't know. There's no easy answer to that. Like I said, I wanted to do something with my hands with hookah. And then one day, my wife and I were looking for something that we could do together, just a hobby. And I saw that down the road they had a introduction to pottery class. So under the guise of it being a, hey, let's spend some time together thing, I was like, maybe I can learn to make hookah bowls. And signed her up for that with me. Yeah, it just started out as maybe I can make my own hookah bowls. And then after I posted a few pictures, and they were crappy bowls, but I got a tremendous amount of support from the hookah community and started trying to make them for other people.
Very cool. So your wife also smokes hookah then with you, I'm assuming?
Not so much. Occasionally she will.
But she's into
not really. What's that?
But she's into the hobby of it?
She supports me reluctantly, I think. She's not a big hookah smoker, but she's real sweet about it.
Sounds like
I've got a cat. Yeah. I've got a cat of 12 hookahs I can have at once. I have to thin out the herd.
That's bullcrap. That's the same thing. My girlfriend's actually asthmatic, so she reluctantly supports me too. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
There you go. J-Rock wants to know if anybody is smoking out of their KM tonight. I was going to. I just cleaned it, but I decided to go with the carbon just because it's a little shorter in stature, and I wanted to do the cool thing that Adrian does where you can see it in the background. Did you see that, Adrian? I got my hookah showing off right now. Yeah, exactly. We also got another question from Brad. He says, what flavor would you smoke if you could never buy another flavor ever again for all three of you? So if I could never buy another flavor ever again and I only had to smoke one, it would probably be, man, this is tough, because it would either be Static Starlight or Summer Solstice, and I think I'd probably go Static Starlight from Tangiers. Yeah, I think I probably would go that route. What about you, Adrian? What would your Desert Island tobacco be?
Oh, like if I could have any tobacco, take it with me, and that's all I smoke?
Yes.
Naco Double Apple.
Ooh, old school. Like it. Kyle, how about yourself?
All right, which one do I want for Desert Island, or which one would I never buy again?
No, which one would you only buy? Yeah, Desert Island tobacco.
Oh, Cape Peach all day. Noir.
Very nice, very nice. We got some Tangiers love in the house for sure. We got lots of people smoking KMs. Someone is smoking a KM tri-metal right now, and someone is smoking a dual-tone bullet right now. I don't know if I know what the dual-tone bullet actually looks like.
Yeah,
okay,
I don't
let's
know.
move on in our interview questions. About how long will it take to make an average bowl for yourself from start to finish?
Oh, I am still very amateurish at this, so it takes me a lot longer than, say, I'm sure like Brandon George takes to make a bowl, or even Mason. But I know there's cats. I'd say it takes about 30 minutes to throw from the initial wet slab of clay. Then you let it dry out for a few days. You trim it, which takes another 30 minutes, and then come back a few days later and glaze it. That's probably time spent working. 2 hours, 2.5 hours per bowl.
How many will you typically produce in a batch?
Well, I've only done the one batch release so far, so it's hard to say. I think I was shooting for 25 and got about 20 out that first batch, and I'm going to shoot for the same number this time, do 25. the second batch, which I am trying to get out probably late March, early April.
Very, very nice. And then, so roughly a week and a half for the finished product to be finished and done. Was that about right then?
Yeah, I'd say a week and a half to 2 weeks. It kind of, I work at I still work at a local Parks and Rec pottery studio, trying to save up enough money to get my own wheel and kiln. But right now, it's kind of dependent on their schedule and how busy they are.
Very cool. Okay, and then so moving on to our next question. What are some of the bowls that you own? What are some of the stuff? We're going to talk about more collection stuff, obviously, but what are some of the cool bowls that you might own in your own personal collection of yourself?
Man, I don't have a lot of great bowls. That was kind of why I wanted to take the class, to start making my own, save a little money. I've got a stone fit bowl with the, I don't know what Brandon calls that spire in the center, where it's flattened and it's got the holes sort of perforated around the edge and closed on the top. But I got one of those, and I've got an OG Predator that my man Jack, pardon me, I'm not going to pronounce your last name right, Kasmanian. He sent it to me in the Secret Santa Hookah Lounge this past Christmas, and that thing rips. Super shallow, great for cantiers. Other than that, I just got a fudge bowl and a Goodfella and a few of the standards, and a glass crown bowl.
Oh, very, very nice. Captain Wetbeard just says Vortex. I don't know what that means. I don't know if he's asking if we have Vortex or if he's just, that's the only bowl he owns. He just has a Vortex.
I think he was describing the bowl he was talking about, because if it's flat on the top with holes in the sides, that would be a
gotcha.
bowl.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm terrible at following the chat. I'm doing my best. It's going so much quicker right now. It's making me dizzy.
You gotta do this.
Oh, okay.
Get with it.
Okay,
Dual
sorry.
screens.
I do. I have dual screens. I have it set up on my monitors. Is what I have it going on right now.
Oh, okay. Then your age is just showing.
Here's my glasses. I don't see very well without my glasses. Okay, and then another question for you, Kyle. So once again, for anybody that may be joining a little bit late in the show, we have Kyle Smith here from Relix Bowls. We're interviewing him, and then we're going to be talking about bowls for our main topic as well. What are some of your goals with your own product? What are some of the goals that you have?
Well, the whole reason I did it and started it, the initial goal was just to get some unique bowls, like one that no one else is going to have out there to people for an affordable price. The first batch release I did, especially knowing that it was my first real go at making hookah bowls, I didn't set a price on them. I just asked that people cover the shipping, and if they wanted to, they could donate anything on top of that. So that's my main goal, is just to get something unique out there in the hands of people that love hookah as much as I do.
Awesome. That's something that I love about our the hobby that is hookah, right? Like when you get involved and you want to be a part of what it is that makes hookah so great, you want to be a part of the industry in some capacity. And I think when you really look at what you own and what is out there on the market, something that is exciting, especially to do, is to try and create something a part of it as well. And I think that's so cool, honestly. We also have someone else new joining the chat, Ray. How you doing, Ray? Thank you so much for joining us. Don't worry about being late, man. You're already entered into drawing. Everybody that is here right now making comments, you are all entered into the drawing. So thank you guys.
I want to just say real quick that I'm pissed that I had to give this thing away. I've only had, like, since I got it a couple days ago, I've had like 10 sessions with it. I actually just keep cleaning. I've got like 30 bowls, and I just keep using this one.
Wow, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you do good work. I was actually going to say, when you were saying that, like, at first you were having people cover the cost of shipping, those people lucked out, man. Like, I'll spend $25 on a bowl that performs not as well as this one. So I think you've got something going here. We'll talk a little bit more about the product later, but
yes,
thank you.
Adrian right now is actually smoking out of the bowl that will be the giveaway bowl of this. So all those beautiful clouds that you're seeing, that is what you are going to be getting. I'm telling you right now, you're going to be getting the same results, maybe even better.
Vintage. I'm actually really bad at hookah, but vintage. Smoke some vintage out of this thing. The way it handles heat is so good.
That's a good mixture right there. Relics and vintage. They go together like peanut butter and jam, I would say. I don't know. I haven't tried it. Terrible. So this is a true story right here. We were talking about doing this giveaway and everything, and Kyle said, hey, what if I sent you the bowl and then you could use it and we could talk about it and stuff. I was like, oh man, this sounds like a great idea. I love this idea. And then it got kind of late in the week and I was like, probably not going to be able to make it work. What if we send it to Adrian? And Kyle's like, yeah, I think I can do that if I get it out today. And he was able to get it out and it made it to Adrian. And then as soon as it made it to Adrian, I was like, abort mission. We're just going to delay this by a week. And you're going to send me that bowl instead is what I wanted to say so badly, but didn't obviously. So moving right along, if you guys have any questions in the chat, please let us know what they may be. Also, I want to point out that we are aware of the terrible carousel that is the images that you see during the show and stuff. And I do want to make sure that we'll just have all faces on the chat at all times or on the show at all times. Sadly, I wasn't able to get that working today, but hopefully for the next time that we do the show, that will be up and running and it won't have this sort of carousel effect where it jumps.
Is that a thing we can do?
That is something that we can do. And I will.
That would be so good.
Yes.
Because this is bad.
I know it's bad. I apologize for that instantly. I wouldn't be reluctant to say if you have the show up, just listen to our voices. Don't worry about watching us because it's easier to listen than it is to watch this train wreck that I try to put on every week. Okay, so the next question that I have for you, Kyle, are you going to Vegas? They just announced the dates that the Hookah Worldwide Expo is going to be. It's going to be August 4th and August 5th. Are you going to be coming to Vegas? Where are you from? Also, 2 questions in one.
Yeah, that is the goal, man. I went last year to the Hookah John Expo. First time I'd been to a big gathering like that for hookah and had a blast. Got to meet a ton of cool people. Yeah, so if I can get this second batch off the ground, I'm probably going to have to use the proceeds from that to pay for a plane ticket out there. And I'll definitely do my best.
That's a good
idea. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay, North Carolina. Okay, very, very cool. We do have a question from the chat. It says, Kyle, do your bowls work with HMDs or are the primarily used for them is foil?
Oh, it's bowl to bowl. It differs. I'm still not good enough yet to where I can replicate, a diameter exactly right every time. There's usually a 10 to 15% shrinkage window that you're gonna just luck of the draw get whenever you fire a bowl. So every bowl is different. The one that Adrian's using right now is a great size for a Provost and foil, and this older one that I'm using right now fits the Lotus and the Razor and the Ignis great. Just depends. Okay.
Somebody says giveaway idea, personal guest of A.M Hookah. Explain that a little bit, Brad. I'm maybe just reading your comment wrong, but it says giveaway. Become a guest on the A.M.
Oh, I like that.
I do too. We want to have people from the community as well, not just people that have or things that they do with inside of the community. So I think that's also a very awesome idea. So I would love to do something like that because the show thrives and it goes directly off of the community that we're trying to build a little bit. And then he says no. So maybe I'm completely wrong in my assumption of what he said. I have no idea. Expo guest now he says. I'm so bad at reading comments. Adrian, if you can decipher, please let me know what these people are saying because I'm too old to understand. And now he's laughing at me, Brad is.
Maybe he wants you to the winner would win a one-way or a round-trip ticket to the expo.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's a big ask.
That's in the future. Okay, so the next question for you, Kyle, is how do people get in contact with you when you are ready to make these batch orders and sell them and such of that?
Man, I'm an old fogey when it comes to social media. Right now, I'm just on Facebook, and I've got an Instagram that I very regularly check. So the best way to do it is just find me, Kyle Smith, on Facebook and shoot me a message there. Or on Instagram, I think my username is Gene Parmesano. So you can look me up there. Parmesan with an O.
Somebody said, okay, so hit you up on probably Facebook's going to be the easiest way to do it then. Just find you on Kyle Smith and then shoot you a message on there.
Definitely.
Okay, and then Sid says, season finale feature all of the Superfan. Sid, I love that idea so very much. I think that'd be a great way to end the first season of the A.M Hookah podcast. Adrian, write that down. That's a great idea.
Yeah, let me just write that in my foot.
There you go. You got a smartphone right in front of you. Use your smartphone.
Listen, man, I'm old too. I don't know how smartphones work.
George says, how far do you test it, the bowl, heat-wise? 2, 3, 4 coals. I'm assuming probably different depending on each bowl that comes out, correct?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I try to test everything that I make before I feel like it's okay to ask someone to pay money for it. Um, it just depends on what I'm smoking as far as how many coals I'll pile on.
How many coals do you have right now inside of your raisin?
I just threw a third cube in there. It's getting a little harsh. We'll see if it mellows out. The bowl I'm using right now is really shallow. It's maybe 12 grams semi-dense packed, and probably maybe 14 in there with hand juice. So
Okay.
it's a lot of surface area, real shallow. A lot of heat's not great for it.
Captain Webbeard says, "Can I be a super fan?" I think that we need to set some rules up for how you become a super fan. But I think the main rule, and correct me if I'm wrong, Adrian, is you just need to show up to the shows, right? Like, if you participate in the chat and you're here to say hello to us on the shows when we go live, I think that makes you a super fan. Am I wrong in that?
That said, he's already a super fan because he says, I like to go old school with pen and paper, and you only know that if you watch my channel. So thanks, Captain Webbeard. You're a super fan for me, at least.
Yes,
Matt can go into a hole if he wants, but you're good in my book.
Get out of here. We still are very early on in our show and our process. Season 1, obviously, only episode 6. If you guys are getting in on the ground level, then you guys are a part of the super fan club. I will say, without all, with no redemption at all, that Akeem is the original super fan by far. So if you want to know how to be a true super fan, all you have to do is ask Akeem. That's what you can do, for sure.
Also, send Akeem hookah products.
Always send him
Just
lots.
Anything good, send it right to him. Akeem, leave your address. Get some free shit.
And J-Rock, we appreciate how many times J-Rock has been a part of this as well. Brad says you got to get an A.M Hookah tattoo. I'm not saying that wouldn't make you a super fan. That would
Don't do it.
I mean, I'm not going to say don't do it. What are you saying? Don't
Don't do that.
Don't tell them how to live their life. Don't tell
Matthew.
them. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's get into the topic of today's show. We are going to be talking bowls. We're going to be talking bowls with the guy that is giving away a bowl on the show, obviously. We're going to be showing off our collection a little bit. Do you guys have any of the bowls around you at the moment? Adrian, I think you have a couple, don't you?
Yeah, what do you want to see? I've got 10.
Okay, you got 10. I have quite a few over here as well. Do you have any bowls on you, Kyle, in your possessions immediately?
Yeah, that's funny. I actually forgot to mention earlier, I've got around me a few, actually the very first bowl I ever made and a few of the early ones. You can see my humble beginnings, how bad they were when it started.
Very cool. Adrian is having fingering his bowls right now.
Don't make it disgusting.
So, do you have another term that you would use for what you're doing right now?
No, I was hoping you could say I was fingering them, actually.
Okay. So I have a couple. I'm going to show off a couple of bowls from my collection right now, and then we'll go into talking about just bowls in general and stuff. But one of the ones that I like a lot that I use pretty regularly on stuff like haze, especially, is my square bowl that I have. I'm a big fan of the square bowl. I think it's a pretty cool looking one. I'm a fan of the color of the glaze as well. I also have an old school 80 feet bowl as well. I don't use this nearly as much as I used to. The Bambino bowl actually has taken its place in a lot of respects, to be honest. And then I also have, just the old school Egyptian bowl, because you have to have an old school Egyptian bowl. Let me reach over here. I have the stone vortex bowl that I recently acquired, and I'll be doing a review of this.
I want it.
Really digging stone vortex. I just want to show that off a little bit more, and the reason why is because besides the stone vortex bowl, and I don't use this at all, but I am going to show it off real quick, is the original vortex bowl, the original Sahara Smoke. And you can see so many interesting differences between the stone one and the original one, and just how they evolved and the stuff that they did to make differences and really improve what they were doing. And I think that is so cool that they really they stepped up their game in reference to what the community was asking for. I think that's really
a really big part of that is Alpaca's influence on Sahara Smoke's bowls, because if I'm not mistaken, Omar had something to do with the first stone vortex bowls.
Oh, I did not know that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Interesting piece of information. Then I also got the Mason, probably one of the stars in my collection until I have the Relix bowl, obviously, but I love the
jealous.
Love the Mason bowl.
The second I can get my hands on a Helix bowl, I'm going to start posting that on Mason Mondays and just tagging you in every single one. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure you don't get one.
And then I have a really cool one. I really like this. This is the HC Micro Black Edition, and it's unglazed on the outside, and then on the inside there's a glaze right there. And it's such a cool little bowl that I own in my collection, and it's something that really stands out, and I really, really like it because it's different than some of the stuff that I have. So I really, really appreciate the difference in that bowl for my collection-wise. We have some people talking in the chat real quick. J-Rock, of course, has the Flying Saucer, the most epic bowl ever made. The 80 feet bowl all day is what he says. And then we got Captain Wetbeard coming in as well, saying that he has the Tangier Small Bowl and a Cloud Cesaris Vitria #2. The second edition of that. And then let's see if there's anybody else. No one else has talked about their bowls thus far. So, hey, if you guys have bowls, you want to let us know that you have something unique, different, or just in general, just let us know. Put it out in the comments. Adrian, what are some of the bowls that you have to show off?
I have a lot of bowls. Honestly, bowls are kind of weird right now because I feel like a lot of people are coming out with the same thing. But some of the bowls that I really enjoy using are like this. This is actually one of the first runs of the Alpaca Apache Bowl. And this is back when they did this color scheme on it. And you can see that the way the spire's set up is kind of weird. They look way more uniform now. But back when they were doing it a little while ago, you got something that looked a little more like this. And I actually I like this bowl a lot for Alchemist, actually, which is a brand that I know not everyone smokes. Probably my daily drivers, though, are like Goodfella V3 and 4. I don't know if anyone has gotten their V4 yet, but there's a significant size difference. And I don't know how I feel about it because the 4 has way more capacity than the 3. It's more like the wide gauge Harmony in terms of capacity. But they work really well with HMDs. And then some of the bowls I'm more proud of, besides obviously this Relix bowl that I have to give away. Yeah. I've got, this one's awesome. OG. I don't know if you're familiar with the company OG before Alpaca became a thing and all the drama that happened with the split between Liberty and Alpaca. But OG Rook Bowl, awesome HMD bowl. But yeah, I've just got a box of bowls here, man. This isn't even all my bowls. I got a problem. I spent so much money on bowls. This is an unmarked. I think this is probably a J&J Ceramics Predator Bowl because this is unmarked. This is old school. They don't even make this glaze anymore.
Wow, very pretty.
Cool. I'm going to go grab a bowl real quick, so I forgot to grab one. So you go ahead and take over, Kyle, and let us see some of your collection as well.
Oh, sure. All right. So this, embarrassingly enough, is the first bowl I ever made. And I wish I had something here to compare it to so you'd see how tiny it is, but I guess you can get an idea. This little thing right here.
What is that?
It is the ugliest hookah bowl. It holds maybe 8 grams in it. And whoa. Yeah, this is the first one I ever made, Matt. And I would use it when I'd come. I used to work real close to home, and I would use this as my lunch bowl. I'd come home, pack this little 8-gram bowl, and it'd be done just in time to head back to work. So I made that tiny one first, and then realized, oh man, I need to make it bigger than that, and completely overcompensated in all the wrong ways and made this fat thing. Trying to make like a lip for an HMD. Turned out way too thin for an HMD, but size-wise, you can see it is a chunky bowl.
That is fat. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I accidentally made the first Helix ever, just really ugly.
There you go.
Yeah, I was actually going to grab... Oh, and then this one. So, man, I'm going to pronounce all these names wrong, but Neve, is it Donahue in the Hookah Groups?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. She recently posted a picture of a bowl that I had sent out to the House of Smokes out in Las Vegas. Shout out to Les. Me and him met last year out there at the Hookah Convention. He's a great guy. He owns House of Smokes. Hit him up if you're there.
That is where I got my Mason bowl from, actually. That is how I got.
No kidding.
Yes, he had one, and he had it marked up a little bit. Me and him had a long conversation. He's like, "Well, I should be selling it for a lot more, but I want to give a good deal." And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna buy this. I have to." I was in Vegas for me and my wife. We went down there for a Backstreet Boys concert. I have no regret at all. With the little bit of money that I was able to win from the craps table, I totally got myself a roulette table. Actually, I totally got myself the Mason bowl. So,
oh man,
good guy,
good profit. Yeah, way to come out of there ahead. So she picked up a bowl at the TPE that just concluded that I had sent out there, and I didn't exactly intend for it to go out for sale just because I was worried about safety issues. But it was a prototype that I only have one other of, where I don't know if you can see it, but I used shattered glass in the bottom of the bowl, which melted to create like a smooth blue surface.
Wow.
But some issues occurred there with the bubbles in the center. So if you're not careful, you can cut your finger when you're cleaning that thing out. But she picked up one of those. And it was just really, it still trips me out every time I see someone post one of my bowls in Facebook groups. Pretty crazy.
That's how I felt when you posted the podcast in the Facebook groups, probably.
Yeah.
It says no U.S. made bowls. So I'd like to know, Sid, what bowls do you have? She's from. Oh man, I don't want to mess up where she's actually from. Is it London? Adrian, is that where she said she was from?
Somewhere not in America, somewhere in Europe.
Okay, so yeah, maybe she just said Europe actually. But what are some of the bowls that you have? I'd love to hear about what they use mainly in that area and stuff, especially when they don't get their hands on stuff like American-made bowls and stuff. I want to show these two bowls off real quick. This is a Gen 1 Alien funnel bowl right here. Much used, much loved. My Gen 1 Alien. And go ahead and show that flashback, Adrian.
Yeah, this isn't a flashback. This is a Gen 3 third run. I like this, but I think I like yours better, honestly. The dimensions look better.
I also love the root beer float color. I love the shape of it and everything. But yeah, absolutely love that. And then I have an OG bowl as well that I absolutely like for using for blonde leaf as well. I really enjoy using this bowl. And
you ever pack Al Fakr into that? I feel like that would be a great Fakr bowl.
I have before. I just don't have a lot of Al Fakr, so I don't smoke it very often. But yes, I have used it for Al Fakr as well. Cool, man. We got some pretty cool collection stuff for sure. Let's see. Sorry about that, Sid. Sid says he, so I apologize so very much. And then he actually says we have well-made Chinese ones. Well-made Chinese ones. That's an interesting thing to say. So you don't. I'm assuming you don't have this. This is a mod bowl from Mia, Chinese made, obviously.
Put that down. Put it down.
Smash it to 1,000 pieces.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go grab a couple of mine real quick.
Okay, go right
do that.
So besides showing off the collections that we have, obviously, we're also going to be talking about differences and some of the interesting things that we have in terms of the bowls that we have. And something that I showed off, right now was that crappy Mia bowl that a lot of us started out with, obviously, the mod bowls and stuff. After we had the Egyptian bowls, and we thought the mod bowls would work as well, but we found out very quickly they do not work very well. I also have this apple on top bowl that I absolutely love and use quite a bit with the Provost on it only. I don't use foil with this in any capacity. I only use this with the system, but I really do love it. I like that it's silicone on the outside. It has a really nice, big, bulky structure to it. It just kind of has a unique look to it. I love the apple on top bowl. I think they're really cool.
I want to leave you out to dry for a second while he's grabbing bowls. I've got a really nice seasoned bowl. Like I literally have an unglazed bowl that I have seasoned for double apple. I want to show you.
Oh yes, please go grab that. And then also I have this. This is a pure silicone bowl. I got this.
No way.
Yeah, I don't use it. It's not a very good bowl. Don't get too excited. It's just not very. It doesn't retain heat. That's something I don't like about it. And then also, it's just not a pleasure to pack or tinfoil on because you can't get a nice tight fit to it. And then when you're even packing, it just kind of feels weird the whole time. I don't use it. It's just something that I still have in my collection. Never going to get rid of it probably. And I'm going to wait to show this bowl off to Adrian because I think it's a fun bowl. I'm going to tease it just a little bit. Oh, I'm not going to show it off quite yet. Got to wait.
It's that thing.
You'll see the fun one. Jessica will probably appreciate it. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Can't tell. But yes.
Hi.
Yes, hello, Adrian. How are you doing? What do you have to show us?
So there's nothing really fancy about this bowl. It's just an Egyptian handmade clay bowl I picked up from a local shop. For anyone who doesn't know, I live in Dearborn, and for anyone who doesn't know what that means, there's a very huge Middle Eastern population here. A lot of people smoke hookah, and a lot of people smoke out of Egyptian bowls here. This is an unglazed Egyptian bowl, and it is pretty well seasoned. I don't wash it, obviously, with double apple. And I just kind of wanted to touch on that because if some of you maybe don't have an unglazed bowl, I think it's a really fun thing to pick a flavor you really like, whether it be lemon, mint, double apple, whatever you're into, and season a bowl with it. That's something you can do. Maybe we should talk about that at some point.
Nice. Yeah, definitely.
We had a question from Captain Wetbeard. He says, if a bowl is not glazed on the inside, does it stain/retain flavor? The majority of my are not stained on the inside or glazed on the inside. And I don't know if I would personally say that it does. flavor or stains the flavor in it. I've never noticed it too much. I don't know if it's just because I smoked stronger flavors out of each bowl progressively and such. But I guess that could be a case that would happen, I guess, right, Adrian? You're saying yes?
Absolutely. It takes a little more time than most people think. But you can do a lot of really cool things when you're staining bowls. For instance, the double apple bowl I have stained here, I can actually just smoke mint out of it, and it will taste like mint with a little bit of double apple, that kind of spice and anise flavor in the background, without ever actually putting any double apple in the bowl. It just takes some dedication. It's kind of a project to get a good bowl stain going.
Okay. And then I have a bowl that I completely forgot. I'm not going to go get it because it's further away than what these two bowls are. But you guys know what the original funnel bowls look like? Where they just
got me there.
A straight hole going straight down instead of a funnel chimney going straight up. They had a hole just going straight down.
I've seen those. Yeah.
Well, I have one of those, and I've never used it. You're supposed to pack it so that all the tobacco is just on the sides of it. And yeah, that's what you're supposed to do with it. I've never done it. It's not something that I have, or not something that I've done. So yeah, I've never used it for anything, but I do have one of those just sitting in my collection because hell yeah, I got to collect stuff. That's what I do. Yeah. Did you say you had something else to show off, Kyle?
Oh yeah, I picked up this. I've got the Sky Bowl with the. It was matching at one point the Stratus Heat Manager. Which
somebody that said they were going to get themselves a Sky Bowl as well.
Tristan, yeah, nice. Tristan was going to grab one.
Nice, yeah, it's a great. I've kind of I use it primarily as like a travel bowl now, just so I don't have to worry about anything breaking.
Good idea.
It's real easy to overheat, but if you just keep, I don't know, 3 flats in there. I try to stay away from cubes with it because that's when you get into trouble. But using the flats, it's a great bowl, especially for Tangiers. It's a nice kind of like low, shallow there, which is what I like to do for Tangiers. And then I've got the brother of the bowl you've got, the taller one. And
ooh.
Can't remember the name of these. I wish I did. They're Brazilian made. Is that right?
Yes, they're Brazilian made. They're just called HC. That's it.
HC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge, wide spire there in the center of mine.
Whoa.
It is ginormous. Like I can fit my whole thumb in there.
Jeez,
it's crazy.
That is a good draw, I guess. I don't know.
It's I'm not a big fan of the wide spire, and that's just something I found through trial and error making my own bowls. The wider, if you get past a certain point, you kind of lose some of that flavor, I think, from whatever you're smoking. It's not as direct of a bowl.
That's something we were talking about not too long ago. I think it was the last episode maybe, where a certain amount of restriction can help you retain your flavor.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. And then I picked this up at the Hookah John Expo last year, the Project Black Bowl.
Somebody was talking about Project Black in the chat, saying that the Project Black Bowl does very good for them. Really enjoy it. Do you like your Project Black Bowl?
Yeah, I haven't tried it with just foil yet. Typically, if I use foil nowadays, I'm lazy and I'll use a Provost with it. And this one's a little bit too wide to where that weight of the Provost is going to be pressing on the foil. It'll give you a little drag. But with the HMD, so far so good. I like it a lot.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some of the differences in bowls. Obviously, this is, we've been showing them off the whole time. The funnel bowl design has a chimney going on the top of it like that, and you pack around it. And yeah, it helps with the juices of the tobacco staying inside of the bowl. Some people say that it's the only way to smoke. Other people say that it's just another way to smoke. But yeah, so that's the funnel bowl design. If we want to start at the very beginning, obviously, we have the Egyptian bowl. What the Egyptian bowls look like, they just have the 5 holes in the middle of it, and you pack right around it. You want to do something to create a little bit of airflow, obviously, in it. A lot of people actually take a, poker or a toothpick of sorts, and they'll just clear out that middle one of there so they make sure they have good airflow, kind of create themselves a funnel design, if you will. And then also we have the vortex bowls. Those are the 3 main styles of bowls. They Alpaca has the stuff with the bridge over it. They have ones that are a little bit different. Ugly is coming out with a bowl that actually kind of melds the differences between the vortex style and the funnel bowl all in one, which looks really interesting. He hasn't released those quite yet, but they are definitely very unique looking. And then, the mod bowl, obviously, that I was showing off that I'm not going to show off anymore, is also a old school Egyptian style. And then now we're going to show off this one. I was waiting for you, Adrian, to come back because I want to show this bowl off. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
Okay, so there's the symbol for it right there. It's a South Smoke right there.
Okay, yeah.
And here we go.
Good Lord.
It's a fat boy.
Yeah.
Monster.
So here's my fist.
Oh my God.
Yes, it will fit. Here's a square bowl.
That is
What
a weekend bowl.
Yeah,
That's a pack it on Friday, finish it on Sunday bowl.
If you can't tell, I've never used it. I actually have like 3 of these in my collection. This is when I used to own a hookah lounge, and I thought, oh man, I gotta get a bigger bowl. And then I got it. Like, this is a terrible idea. Why would anybody want to use this? This is terrible.
It's funny you say that. I was actually just at the Starbucks retail shop doing a thing, and they had the Starbucks made Vortex Goliath bowls. If you've ever seen one of those, and I touched one for the first time, and I wanted to like pour some Captain Crunch in there.
Yes.
Like just.
Oh my goodness.
I've got one of those.
No, you do not need a bigger bowl. You don't need a gigantic bowl to get a longer session or anything like that, obviously. But I thought it was funny enough to bring up here. I thought this one was a good enough bowl to bring up, but I didn't bring my original funnel bowl upstairs, so I don't know what I was thinking, obviously. But yeah, so those are some different ones. Those are the differences between the 3. I think out of the 3, we all smoke mostly funnel bowls, right? Am I correct in that?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of taken over at this point. What about you, Adrian?
I'm actually a huge fan of the old school red clay Egyptian bowls. I tend to smoke a lot of Al-Fakr and Messiah, Nakla. It's all readily available where I live. It's probably a 50-50 split for me at this point. I might kind of migrate towards funnels just for review purposes because that's what everyone likes to see. But I think that maybe people should, revisit the Egyptian bowl because I think there's a place for that still to this day, even though, they're budget bowls, $5 for an Egyptian red clay, but they're solid. But in terms of quality, I mean, if you're Tangiers, what do you get a funnel bowl? You get a funnel bowl, smack it in there, and you smoke it.
There you go. Stefan says that's a killer Kingdom hookah that you have there, Adrian. Adrian is, of course, using the Zomo Kingdom hookah right now. Real talk real quick. I don't know if I care for the whole look of it. I don't know if I care for the metal and wood design. I haven't made my full decision yet. Are you a big fan of the aesthetics of that?
Okay, really quick first impressions, 10 seconds. I like the way it looks. The wood on metal, the color of the metal actually is really nice. I love the purge. It's like a hidden purge. You can actually see it right here. What I don't like, this is annoying as hell to me. And this is actually Dan's hookah. It's for the Traveling Hookah Review. Like I was said, Sally from the Shisha Savage is getting this next. So expect a review on this soon. But look at this hose port.
Oh yeah.
Just goes straight into the hookah. I don't like that at all.
That's a weird one. That is something they're like, hey, how can we change a hookah? What if we made it 90 degrees for the hose?
Also, the place for the tray, the little tray stand, I've got the Alchemist Initiate tray on it. Does not hold very well. I don't like that. It's smoking well though. Take that for what it's worth.
That's always good. Yeah, definitely odd choice.
I really like the design of that purge valve. If you spin it back around, Adrian, it looks a lot like an old school 1920s, well, 1920s, but like Jules Verne diving bell helmet. It's really cool.
Ooh, getting it old school. I like that. Purge out of it and let us see what it looks like. If you got
actually, I think my purge ball's like locked.
Oh no! How do you?
Screw
that, or do you just have to shake it when you don't have it locked in?
Yeah, I could shake the hookah. I could do that.
Don't do that right now. I don't want you to burn your house down. Don't do that. You're probably in an apartment. Do not do that.
Mostly, I don't want to break the Relix bowl.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so let's talk about what we think makes a good bowl. What do you guys think makes a good bowl? What's a good size that you guys like to use?
Why don't you go first? No, you go first. You're the guy who makes the bowls. You go.
Learning. I've only been at this for a year and a half, 2 years, so I think it's relative. Depending on what you want to smoke in the bowl, you're going to have a bowl that would be otherwise great for Al-Fakr would be terrible for Tangiers, like you said. Right now, I'm trying to keep mine shallow. I found that a lot of the bowls that I had before I started making mine were, I'd get done with the session, pull off the HMD, and it was still moist tobacco for about, 20% up from the bottom. So I'm trying to keep mine at around like 12 to 15 grams. I think that's a good size for a bowl, but definitely the material and the height of that spire relative to the rim is really important. You gotta, assuming it's a funnel. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yes, the fire that you have is going to make a big impact on the quality of it for sure. Brad says that the clay is the #1 thing about a good bowl, and I think clay has a lot to go into that as well. It's one of the reasons why the ceramic bowls that Sahara Smoke used to make with the Vortex, or like the mod bowls, one of the reasons why they're not very good is because the actual substance that's using to heat doesn't heat very well. So you're getting unheated sections of it, you're getting hot spots, you're getting just oddities in your session and stuff. So clay is obviously a huge thing. You want it to be a very consistent blend of clay, and you want it to be something that is going to remain hot throughout the session and not give you either a hot spot or a cold spot in it as well. Brad also says then size 20 grams or so is the ideal in his honest opinion. I'm glad he's honest about his opinion and not lying to us. But he does say 20 grams. I think 20 grams is definitely a good shoot for a lot of bowls, especially because when you have 20 grams, you can kind of play with it a little bit. You can pack it a little bit under. You can pack it a little bit over. It helps with that. I do also agree with you, though, Kyle, when you said that 14, 15 grams. I really like those kinds of bowls just because tobacco saving is always an important thing as well, I would say.
Yeah, that's just, I think that was just a personal preference of mine that I've sort of injected into all the bowls. Was I smoked for an hour and a half to 2 hours max, and you don't need more than 15 grams to get that out of a session.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I totally agree with the clay being the most important part.
Definitely would like to know how many grams your bowl holds, and it sounds like you're always shooting for anywhere between 12 to 14 grams, correct?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it between 12 and 15 on average with these bowls. Every now and then you're going to get a wild card. But yeah, that's definitely what I shoot for, just so people know what they're buying when they look for a Relix.
Ray actually brought up something really interesting to say. He says, "What do you guys think about the Dragon Flip Bowl? Are they just a gimmick?" And immediately, I think the first and the truthful thing to say about the Dragon Flip is it is absolutely a gimmick. Absolutely, kind of like the what are those really cool crown bowls? That are made out of metal. Oh, I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. It has like the symbol of the M on the top of it. You know what I'm talking about? If anybody in the chat knows what I'm talking about, please state the name of it.
Crown?
It's not Crown, because Crown does the glass bowls and stuff, but it starts with an M. Oh man, it's on the tip of my head.
Mazzari
Bowl. Yes, the Mazzari Bowl. Yes. Somebody just said that in the chat as well. I'm gonna say Sid told me, not you. And it is Crown. I think you're correct about that as well. But okay, so the hookah flip is absolutely a gimmick. I'm not gonna say it doesn't work, because I've seen people use it and I've seen people even enjoy it. But it is I want one for my collection, not so I can use it or bust it out or anything like that, because I think it's too much work. You have to pat down the tobacco, make sure it's not too moist so that it doesn't drip or anything. But the idea of the Dragon Flip is that you take the tobacco up here, your coals are below it, and then you raise your coals up and down in proportion to this part right here where it just stays solid. And then it's upside down, so it's going down through your stem that direction. Yeah, I don't think that there's any actual substance in using it. I think that
there is. Cool. It's the best bowl for Blue Mist.
There you go. Yes. If Blue Mist is your desert tobacco of choice, you have to get a Dragon Flip for sure. Oh my gosh, talk about like totally early innovation when it comes to hookah bowls right there. The Mazzari bowl is also interesting because it heats from the bottom as well. So the bowl's up here and the coals are once again below, but instead of the whole thing being flipped, you're just heating the bottom of the tobacco instead of the top of the tobacco, and then it's still traveling straight down from it, but you're just putting the heat below it instead of on top of it. And I've heard people say that is actually a pretty interesting good bowl, because you're not burning it. You have a little bit different contact with your tobacco. I've never used one. I've seen many times. Hookah Chef Christian has one, and I know he's used it before. I don't know if he still does or not. I wonder if he still enjoys using that bowl or not.
Yeah, the first time I saw one of those, it's got the long neck that comes out to hold the shisha above the coals. I thought there's got to be a more compact way to do that. So for like 3 months, I was just racking my brain, staying up late at night, trying to come up with this like all-in-one. Imagine like an HMD that has a spire going through the center of it, and then you'd place the coals in the HMD, and you'd have a smaller, thin tray like this of a bowl that would rest on the coals inside of it, and it would just, go down as the coals went down. But what does that bring to the market? I don't think it would.
Yes, that's very, very something different for sure, but I don't know if it's by any stretch, obviously.
Right.
Definitely interesting. You know, bowls in the hookah industry have gone through many phases and done some interesting things throughout the history of it and stuff. So that's always kind of fun to see. But yeah, so we also okay. So I'm trying to process some things in my head. If you guys have anything to say, Captain Wetbeard said, Matt, you mentioned that you rarely do sessions with multiple rounds of coals. That is what I've said. Do you ever re-smoke a bowl from the day before, or are you not about that? I'm not about that. I usually when I smoke my bowls for an hour to an hour and a half and don't go another round of coals, usually it's cooked enough for me. I'm not too concerned about trying to save that much tobacco. I don't even know if you could really do that. Have you guys ever done that? Smoked a bowl from the day before?
So it depends. For a good bowl of tang in a decent sized bowl, it's got to be at least 26, 28 grams of tang to do this. But beyond that, I will actually do that with Nocta Double Apple. I have this overpack method that I use when I'm packing Nocta Double Apple. And a lot of the time, I'll just smoke it right before bed. I'll wake up before work, pop on 3 more coals. It'll taste a little burnt for 5 minutes, but then it gets going again because that top layer is charred. The bottom tobacco is good. Nocta is not that juicy to begin with. So that works pretty well, but it's pretty fringe. I don't feel like you can do that with most tobaccos.
It's pretty interesting. I think that it would work well with Double Apple. That doesn't sound too surprising. And also with Tangiers, Captain Webber just said, I've only done that with Tangiers before. I know I've thought about doing it because there are some, I will say that sometimes I do feel like maybe I didn't get my whole session done that I could have gotten done. So maybe I should consider that, but I've never broke down and done it. So, but I do understand what you're saying. I do understand it, I guess I should say. I almost missed that, by the way. I apologize for almost missing that question. Okay, so we went into what we think makes a good bowl and what makes a good size. Okay, so let's give a little bit of advice. We've all been smoking for a few years. We all kind of know what we like to smoke out of and stuff. What are some advice that you could give to somebody who's looking to pick up a new bowl? Adrian, what do you think?
Well, a lot of it's pretty subjective, but I guess it depends on the smoker. But if you've been smoking for a while and you want to pick up a new bowl and you really want to go for efficiency, especially if you're someone that smokes a lot of Tangiers, some of the bowls in the market that are readily available that I would recommend are the 80 feet 80, the Fudge Bowl. It's kind of funny that I named both of those for various reasons. Yeah, we won't get into that too much. The Tangiers Small is a really good bowl. But one thing I wanted to point out, and this is just my opinion, and a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but when you have a bowl, something like the Goodfella, it's kind of got straight walls. And there's a little bit of curvature, but for the most part, it's a straight wall that goes down and curves at a 90-degree angle. This is my preference, where a lot of people, a lot of Tangier smokers especially, will use a rounded bowl like this. Now, me, whenever someone asks what I would recommend, I always find myself recommending something with this geometry as opposed to this geometry. I'm interested to know what you guys think, because I have, in my smoking career, I guess you could call it, I have gravitated towards these more boxed off bowls as opposed to these old school curved, almost Tangiers looking bowls. Obviously, this is a J.J. Ceramics bowl, but.
Okay. So when it comes to looking for that idea, I definitely always look for shallow first. I won't gravitate more towards the more bowl type, like you're saying for like Tangiers and such. I definitely gravitate myself towards more of a shallow because I think shallow will work more for a lot of different things, including Tangiers, obviously. But I think overall I prefer shallow. When it comes to something like even like this is almost like a perfect marriage of it. This is the Stone Vortex. It is a little bit bowly, but then it's also very, very shallow in nature compared to like previous stuff that they've done as well. So I think it has a lot of those. So I think I shoot for more shallow stuff than I do bowl-esque style. What about yourself, Kyle?
If you're asking what I'd recommend for someone who's looking to get their first decent bowl, I don't have it on me, but yeah, I totally agree with you, Adrian. That Fudge Bowl, I'm a big fan of that one. You can do a lot of different tobaccos in that, and it works great for all of them. It's got more of that, if I'm remembering correctly, that vertical wall to it, like you were saying. Yeah, and it's really, really easy when the wall is vertical, especially on the inside on the spire, too, to get that pack right, to get the level right. There's not as much ambiguity as to how much room you're leaving between the foil and the tobacco. So yeah, Fudge Bowl, or what's another good one? Oh, I've really been a big fan of this one. They're pretty widely available. This is the one that Jack sent me, the Predator. Especially for someone new to hookah, that little, what do you call it there? foil
Bridge.
Yeah, it's a bridge. Yeah.
bridge. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I should know that, being that I make hookah bowls.
You're fine.
But that's great for idiot proofing the pack for you.
Brad says that find a budget that you want to spend and stick to it. Decide the style and purpose, and then get it to Moke. And then he says Moke life forever. So I think
Definitely.
Okay, so here's my little bit of advice for somebody who's getting a bowl. If you have bowls that you already like, and you just, because I love to buy new bowls. It doesn't matter how many bowls that I have. I want to get new bowls because I really enjoy adding stuff to the collection and blah, blah, blah. So first and foremost, if you have a bowl that you already like and you use regularly and you enjoy to use and stuff, look for something that you think looks cool. Look for something that you want to use on a daily basis. You know, like this one right here, there's other bowls very similar to it, obviously. But if you already own some smaller bowls and that are kind of shallow bowls and stuff, something like this is just pretty. So I like adding prettiness to my collection as well, to add stuff that really stands out on top of my hookahs and stuff like that. You know, when it came to like the Bambino bowl, it very quickly replaced what I used to use, my 80 feet bowl. So there's two different kinds. There's getting a bowl that you want to use because you think it looks nice, or getting something to replace something else. You know, I could honestly, I could use the Mason bowl every day, and that would be the only bowl that I would need to use at this point, honestly, from what my findings. I haven't tried the Relix bowl yet, obviously, but I'm just saying right now, today, it would just be the Mason bowl, but I don't use the Mason bowl. You know, I've gravitated a lot towards using the Stone Vortex. I'm really enjoying the way that this thing smokes and how well it's versatile in the use of it and stuff. But yeah, after you find a bowl that you like to use, get a bowl that you want to use. That's something that I think is really, really important, obviously.
And really quickly, before we start to wrap up, one thing I wanted to talk about, I'm just going to put my 2 cents in on a couple things right now. I'm going to talk a little bit on the Relix bowl too. But all of us, I think it's safe to assume that all three of us are pretty avid Tangier smokers. That's what I gravitate to when I'm not doing something for a review. But like something like this, it doesn't have to be this exact bowl, but like this OG Rook is very deep. And a lot of people have moved away from these. And I think that a lot of smokers who don't necessarily want to get that huge tobacco, nicotine buzz and that tobacco flavoring, they tend to gravitate towards blonde leaf tobaccos. A lot of those tobaccos will take a fluff pack. So, if you're someone who maybe wants to smoke a tobacco for more than one round of coals in a fluff pack, looking at something like a Y-Gauge Harmony or a Rook Bowl, or even a Alpaca Apache Medium will work too. But one other thing I wanted to touch on as far as what makes a good bowl, and this is something that I think you've done really good with the Relix bowl, Kyle, is the actual size of the walls. And I don't mean the walls on the neck, like the actual walls around the rim of the bowl. Like this bowl right here, you can't really see it right now. But, hopefully whoever ends up getting it gives you some feedback. But the walls are really nice and thick. And that helps with heat retention, but it also helps the bowl from getting hot too fast. So you can do 3 flats in a bowl that's actually smaller than an 80 feet 80, it's a fairly small bowl. So if you're going to go for a Tangier session or something where you want to not smoke too much tobacco, look for a good thick wall on your bowl too. That's what I've had come up in my experience anyway.
Very, very true. Yeah, we are kind of winding down, sadly, to the end of the show. This has been an absolute pleasure to have so many people part of the chat, obviously. Sorry we didn't get to as many things said. It's a little tougher with a guest because we want to make sure that everyone has a good amount of time, especially our guest in sense to has a time to talk as well. We appreciate everyone stopping by, obviously. Is there anything else bowl-wise that you guys want to talk about? Anything that comes to mind? Do we want to talk a little bit more about the Relix bowl? Adrian, do you have any other thoughts that you want to throw in there as well?
I will say, shameless self-promotion, Pipe Dream Hookah, I'm going to be doing a full review on this bowl. This is an awesome bowl. I've only used it a little bit. I need to put it through the ringer. I don't have any Tangiers left, which is something I really want to test with this bowl. So I might make an emergency run and get some. But I'm going to be testing this bowl throughout the week. The review is going to drop late because I want to have the review cut, edited, and everything, and all my thoughts put into it before we actually send it out to the winner of the giveaway, which hopefully, Matt, you'll talk about that a little bit more before we actually close up. But yeah, the Relix bowl, I'm impressed, both functionally and aesthetically. A lot of people, they get into the bowl making world, and you might find this to be the case for you too, Kyle, if you really start to do this at a wider scale. But bowls start to all kind of take the same shape with the straight neck. It just all kind of look the same. What's nice about these Relix bowls is that aesthetically they're pleasing. And if you say that you don't smoke hookah for how cool it looks, I think you're lying. because these are cool. So yeah, that's just another thing. Like a lot of it, we talk about functionality a lot on the show, but shit looks cool, and I think we should talk about that.
Yeah,
this bowl looks cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's you're totally right. That's why they take so long to make. I do most of the shaping of the bowl and the trimming process. So after I've already thrown it on the wheel and gotten a basic shape to work with, I use the tools to kind of contour it. And yeah, if I wanted to crank out bowls with a straight neck like that, I could probably crank out 2 or 3 times as many in the same amount of time. But I think that's kind of the conundrum, is you can't mass produce them once you get trying to make them look unique, different. They're going to take a while.
So yeah, let's go ahead and touch up a little bit on the giveaway, because the giveaway is going to last until next Monday, when we'll do the actual giveaway live on the air. Obviously, like we do with our shows, we are live all the time that we can. And what we're going to be doing is everybody that's in the chat right now, all the people that have stopped by and have said hello or anything at all, you guys have all entered into the chat, including Sid, who is over from us. Obviously, thank you so much. Kyle, for being so gracious. If he does win, then we will all chip in for the shipping and make sure that Sid gets that bowl. And then if you are watching this after it was live and it's just posted and you're enjoying the show, make sure you drop a comment. Just say anything that you want to, and you will be entered into the giveaway as well. So anybody who drops any sort of comment is entered into the giveaway. That's what we're doing. We appreciate Kyle Smith so much. He's the reason this giveaway is happening. He's the one that wanted to do it, so we appreciate it so very much, obviously. Man, I wish we could do the show for as many hours as possible. Everyone's saying that we need to do a hangs of some kind, and I think that in the future we will. And Stefan says something about, Matt, don't tell Adrian you're cheating on him with me. I don't know what I don't know what he's talking about, Adrian. I don't know what he means. Shh, quiet, Stefan.
After we're done being live, we'll talk to Stefan.
Okay, no. Oh my gosh, it's no hookah drama here on the AM Hookah podcast for sure. So let's go ahead and get into how you guys can find us. You can find me, Matt, on Twitter at only Matt Desend. You can also find me on Facebook as well. I like to lurk on all the different hookah groups and talk to stuff that's going on, because there's always a lot of fun stuff going on over there on all the different groups, be it Unbiased or the Lounge, or even, oh my gosh, my mouth is so dry. I don't know if I can do it, Adrian. That hookah group. Almost couldn't do it. My goodness. Oh my gosh, Little John just showed up at the very end of the show. John, sorry, man.
Oh, what's up, John?
Just barely. We're almost over. Sorry about that, man. And then Adrian, where can people find you, man?
Really quick, I'll plug John, because I think he just did a really neat video on glazed bowls. So go check that out at Little John Hookah, or JLJ Hookah. But as far as me, I'm Adrian Hunter, and that's my name on Facebook, because I don't lie to people, probably. And you can find me there. I'm a fake mod on THL. I'm a fake mod on 5-Star Hookah. So, I'm kind of a tyrant over there. I just ban people and mute people. Over on the YouTube, besides here, you can find me at Pipe Dream Hookah. I bring you all sorts of trash reviews and unboxings and tutorials. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Pipe Dream, spelled like it sounds, no spaces. Hookah Porn is on Instagram, and I'm basically dead on Twitter right now. How about you? How about you, man? What about you, Kyle?
Oh man, like I said, just Facebook. Hit me up. I'm in all the hookah groups: THL, Hookah Enthusiasts, Hookah Unbiased. And if you're ever in North Carolina, hit me up and we'll share a bowl together. Last time somebody did that, I think I wound up giving them a Relix bowl. So you never know.
You never know what could happen. Travis also showed up here very much at the end. So thank you so much, Travis, for showing up as well. Make sure you watch the show. You guys are catching the end of the show, because today we had a absolutely wonderful interview with Kyle here. And then also the topic of the show, I think, had a great conversation about hookah bowls in general. Also, Travis and Little John, you may not know, but you are already entered into the giveaway for the beautiful Relix bowl that Adrian is actually smoking right at this very moment. We also found out that Travis thinks Adrian is a dreamboat, so congrats to you.
Oh, thank you. You emulated me.
And Stefan said that Matt is my man crush. So that's cool. Man crush Monday. I get to be somebody's crush, so I appreciate that. Stefan, you know what? You're my crush right now. Don't tell Adrian. Don't tell him anything at all.
Bullshit.
Okay, so aw shit, you boys are beautiful. Beautiful is what he says. Okay, so we're out of here. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for participating in the AM Hookah podcast. Obviously, the show is nothing without you guys. So we appreciate it so very much. Adrian, I'll see you later. I'll talk to you soon. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on. This was an honor. And if you have just 1 second, there was one thing I was going to tack on that I forgot to mention.
Oh, go right ahead.
Cool. I am, like I said, I'm shooting to get the second batch out for these guys around end of March or early April. And a couple of exciting things in the works. Hopefully they'll make it into the second batch. I'm working on a prototype right now that I think I shared with you guys. That's hopefully going to be something really cool that's not out there yet that actually does bring something new to the industry. And then I've also got some talks in the works to team up with a vendor out there and try to get my bowls more widely distributed.
Very awesome. And I love a good tease. And I'm telling you right now that the tease he's giving is absolutely a wonderful tease. I'll tell you right now that it's absolutely a great tease. So until next time, guys, all you midnight tokers and afternoon inhalers, this has been the AM Hookah Show. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Until next time, keep on smoking.
Peace.
Peace.